Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mediocre Reviews and Awesome Brews. I'm your host Tony, and today we're going to be reviewing Dogfish Head's Burton Baton. The bottle says this is a young Imperial IPA and a wood-aged Imperial IPA blended together. But the website says that it's an old ale blended with an Imperial IPA, and then they age it in oak barrels for a month. So I don't know. We'll just go with what it says on the label. So they just took a young IPA and then they took an oak aged IPA and blended it together. The bottle also says, "Please share it with loved ones and hoard it from the non-believers." Let's see, it's a 10% ABV and 70 IBUs. Let's go ahead and crack into it. Try to save the cap. It's pretty cool looking cap. It's got the Dogfish logo on it. Alright. Wow, very dark, burnt orange color with hints of red throughout. Tons of bubbles sticking to the glass there. Let's go ahead and get a nose on it. Oh wow. Got some citrus notes coming through, some maltiness. It almost, it does almost smell like an old ale, with some extra citrus hop notes thrown in there, because it's got that maltiness of an old ale. You can smell some of the vanilla from the oak. Well, let's get a taste on it. Cheers. It's definitely got a lot of citrusy notes in there. The bitterness kind of hits the middle of the tongue and escalates slightly from there. Not overly bitter like most IPAs would be. But although, like I've said in a previous video, in my experience, Imperial IPAs don't tend to be quite as bitter as a regular IPA because the leftover sugars to get that ABV up there kind of cut that bitterness. This is actually very, very good. You're getting, I'm getting a lot of the, oh man, a lot of those oaky vanilla notes. Really good. There's that maltiness in there. So there's slight caramel characteristics in there as well. What else is in there? You get like a toastiness from the oak as well. All these flavor combinations, got caramel maltiness, the vanilla notes from the oak, the kind of toasted quality from the oak, those citrus notes. There's a bit of floral characteristics in there also from the hops, but they're much more subdued. Very, very good beer. Like I said before, I've had bad experiences with Dogfish because I've never had them outside of a beer tasting festival before, but I've had their Hellhound on my ale and their Theobroma. I thought both of them were really good, so I thought I'd go ahead and give the Burton Baton a try there, and it's very, very good. So those must have just been skunky beers. I don't know, the Chicory Stout I had tried was on tap. It must must have been something weird there. And the Midas Touch was out of a bottle, and who knows how long it had been sitting there open to whatever horrible things might have gotten in the beer. It's a really, really good beer. On a scale of 1 to 10, wow. I'll give it an 8. So it'd be an A minus. I'm not a huge fan of IPAs. That's where the lower score is coming in. But for me to not like an IPA and score it an 8 out of 10, I just got to tell you, it's a pretty good beer. Oh, the mouthfeel on it's kind of medium thick, and also the drinkability on this is pretty good at 10% ABV. It's actually really, really good. I don't feel any of it at all on the palate, back of the throat. I'm sure as the beer warms up, I'll probably get a little bit of more warming from the alcohol. But you know what? That being said, let me let this warm up. I'll come back and give you an actual final grade on it. But right now, it's an 8 out of 10, fresh out of the fridge. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. I've let this warm up for another 30 minutes or so. Previously, it was fresh out of the fridge. Let's go ahead and get a nose on it. Excuse me. Getting a lot more caramel sweetness coming through. There's alcohol in the nose now that it's warmed up. I'm not getting a lot of citrus notes in there right now. Right now, actually, it smells like I had a barley wine that was aged in Cabernet barrels, and I'm getting a lot of that in the nose right now. It's kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and get a taste on it. Cheers. Oh yeah. It is actually tasting a little bit more like a kind of like a barley wine. I'm getting more the sweet maltiness has come up a little bit there, but I'm getting a lot of more of a sweet orange sort of a flavor in there as well. I'm getting characteristics of a barley wine now that's warmed up some, and that alcohol warmth is now becoming more present on the palate, and basically as a warming on the palate and down through the back of the throat and into the chest now. Still a really, really good beer. But there's overall citrus hop qualities that were in the nose and the taste. Previously, when it was cold, is they've actually become more subdued. Although that orange sweetness has come up into the game now, but it is starting to taste a lot more like a barley wine. So I mean, this, I don't know, it might be a misprint on the label or something. It's got more of those characteristics of an old ale now, and basically a barley wine is just an old ale that they've hopped tremendously and then aged. Although the bitterness has come up a little bit, but not so much the hop characters. The hop bitterness has come up, but not the hop flavors. They've actually become more subdued. You know, I think even though it is a more bitter beer now that it's warmed up, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it, as a final grade, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because I'm really liking this beer still, even more so than when it was cold, fresh out of the fridge. Really, really good beer. This Burton Baton, Dogfish Head. I'm gonna get out of here. Cheers.